is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds.
That Floyd was the best. I got to give it to him, Bud. The best, right? He hands down. He the best. He the best right now. I don't think nobody need to question him no more. I mean, you kind of got to give him his respect, no matter what. You got to give him his respect. He just went up 2 weight classes, what people said he couldn't do. He's doing everything that people say he can't do.
I've been a world champion, as you know, and I've been a 3-division world champion, but I've only won 1 of the belts. I don't know what it is to be undisputed. I don't know that feeling. Do you understand? What he did last night is unbelievable.
Stephen A. Smith addressed Floyd Mayweather's remarks that seemed to downplay Terence Crawford's performance against Canelo. Smith emphasized that Crawford achieved something truly historic, highlighting that no other fighter in history has managed to become undisputed across multiple weight classes. He underscored that every accomplishment in Crawford's career is well-earned and deserves full recognition, not criticism. According to Smith, Crawford's victory over Canelo was far more than just another win. It was a career-defining achievement that solidifies his place among boxing's all-time elite. He also made it clear that any negative commentary from Mayweather cannot diminish the significance of Crawford's extraordinary feat.
Is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds, claiming all the belts. You don't see people doing that very often. Going up against a guy who was perceived as being bigger and stronger, Crawford was strong. Crawford was strong enough to fend him off, strong enough to make him respect his own power. He used his jab, he used his distance.
Jeff Mayweather shared his strong perspective on the stunning upset Terence Crawford handed Canelo. Stressing that this defeat will leave a lasting impression on Canelo's career, he described Canelo as the undisputed ruler of his division, dominating every challenger he faced. Yet, he was humbled by an opponent who stepped up in weight and confronted him on his own turf. For Jeff, this wasn't just a minor setback. It's a moment that will forever be linked to Canelo's legacy in boxing history, but he also noted that champions are often remembered for the defining moments of their careers. And in Canelo's case, that moment came in the form of a crushing defeat at the hands of Crawford.
But either way, he was in discussion certainly with Chavez. What did this do to his legacy? Because I don't think he caught, the Floyd fight didn't give him, people didn't really look down on him because he was, even though he had 40 fights, he was still, fighting one of the greatest ever in an absolute master. In Bivol, he went up weight classes to win. But now he's fighting a smaller guy, a great fighter, but a smaller guy. Does this damage his legacy in any way?
I think it does. I think it does because, the one thing is this is that, you were ruling, you were the king of that weight class. And the king of that weight class for a good while. And I think that, he had a huge following because, he became the face of boxing.
And even though it's another, future Hall of Famer, still losing a guy come up a couple weight classes, it kind of makes you seem not as great as you might have been.
Stephen A. Smith expressed genuine admiration for Crawford's triumph, openly sharing how impressed he was. He noted that witnessing this historic moment in person made the victory feel even more significant. Smith highlighted that no boxer in history has matched what Crawford accomplished, moving up in weight and convincingly defeating a dominant champion like Canelo. He described it as a defining moment in Crawford's career, one that distinguishes him from his peers and secures this night as an unforgettable chapter in boxing history. For Smith, the fight represented more than just a win. It marked a major shift in how boxing greatness is recognized and remembered.
This was Terence "Bud" Crawford moving up 2 weight divisions, really 3 in my mind, because we only fought 1 fight at the junior middleweight division. So he's really moving up from 147 pounds, okay? Terence "Bud" Crawford moving up to the 168-pound limit in an effort to claim the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world from the grasp of Saul Canelo Alvarez. Now, I was there. Because let me tell you something right now. There's very, very few sporting events in the world that are better than a super fight in Vegas. I can tell you that right now. There's very, very few events. Props to Nick Khan of the WWE.
Crawford's trainer made it clear after the fight that his fighter had already proven everything he needed to. He explained that Terence has reached a level where his skill and accomplishments demand unquestioned respect. Yet, some critics continue to withhold it. This highlighted the reality that even after defeating one of boxing's all-time greats, Crawford still faces debates outside the ring. His trainer stressed that Terence isn't focused on planning another matchup right now, because his performance against Canelo alone is enough to solidify his greatness. For Crawford, this moment wasn't about chasing opponents. It was about building a legacy that no one can dispute.
Terence Crawford and his well-renowned trainer, two-time trainer of the year and future Hall of Fame trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, recently did an interview in which Bomac stated that a fight is not happening. And this particular fight is a fight that everybody wanted to see Canelo Alvarez take, and Canelo Alvarez refused to take this fight with a 28-year-old two-division world champion, reigning WBC light heavyweight, former two-time WBC super middleweight, the Mexican Ecuadorian superstar boxer, who's one of my favorite fighters and a great person, David, the Mexican Ecuadorian monster Benavidez, who has 30 wins, no loss, no draw, 24 wins by way of knockout, stands at 6'2" with a 75-inch arm reach, and fights at 175. But the entire time David Benavidez was fighting at 168, Canelo Alvarez was brought up, and he never accepted the fight. And so, with that said, now people are trying to project this fight on Terence Crawford. And they're saying that Terence Crawford needs to take the fight. So Bomac yesterday did an interview, and Bomac said they're not fighting David Benavidez. And so now people are pushing this notion that Terence Crawford is ducking and Terence Crawford is scared of David Benavidez. And if he don't fight David Benavidez, according to Boxing News 24,
Timothy Bradley offered one of the most striking comparisons, placing Crawford alongside Floyd Mayweather in the greatest of all time discussion. He pointed out that this isn't just about Crawford defeating Canelo. It's about reshaping the standard for what it means to be the pound-for-pound best. Bradley noted that while Mayweather dominated his era, Crawford has now demonstrated an even higher level of mastery by taking on Canelo at his peak and coming out on top. In Bradley's view, this victory elevated Crawford into a rarefied class, reserved only for the true legends of boxing.
It might be too late now. It might be too late, because guess what? He done. Ain't nothing else he needs to do. Ain't nothing else he needs to do in boxing. Yep, y'all doubt him now? Y'all doubt him now? I saw some of y'all goofies on y'all channels. You come here and you get the real over here. That's what you get over here. You want the real? You want a real breakdown from a real fighter, a Hall of Famer? That's what you do. You come right here and you gonna get the real and you gonna get the truth. Dang it, that's what you gonna get. Leave them other lames alone and come right on over here. Yeah, and get the truth and nothing but the truth. I've been trying to tell y'all for years about this. Been trying to tell y'all for years about Terence Crawford. Everybody put his resume down.
Roy Jones Jr. shared a thoughtful perspective, highlighting a key difference between Mayweather's win over Canelo and Crawford's victory. He pointed out that when Mayweather fought Canelo, the younger fighter was still developing, which allowed Floyd to use his experience and ring intelligence to dominate. In contrast, Crawford went up against a fully matured, battle-tested Canelo, the same fighter who had ruled his division for years. Despite being the naturally smaller man, Crawford was able to dismantle him. For Roy, this alone makes Crawford's accomplishment exceptional. as he defeated a version of Canelo far stronger, wiser, and sharper than the one Mayweather faced.
Traditional great in Canelo Alvarez, really 3 weights above his natural weight class. Does that put him in the conversation with the likes of yourself as the greatest fighter of all time?
Yes, it does, and the reason it does is because he couldn't get the credibility down in his own weight class, so he went up to go challenge himself to find it, and he found a very formidable, good opponent.
Do you think Canelo Alvarez is on the decline or not?
No, I don't think it's on decline at all.
So you think both fighters are still at their peak, even though they're 36, 37?
Yeah, I think they're both still at their peak. The age for Crawford would seem like he may be beyond it, but he hasn't had the fights, the tough fights would have put him there. And the years of boxing for Canelo would have put him in a position where they're about equal. So I think they both are pretty much in a great place. I think they're both still in their primes, and this is the best time to see them fight.
Duke McKenzie expressed amazement at what unfolded in the ring, noting that Canelo appeared unable to respond to Crawford's non-stop pressure, speed, and pinpoint accuracy. He described the performance as truly remarkable, calling it one of the most complete displays seen in modern boxing. That McKenzie emphasized that Crawford not only secured his undisputed status, but also demonstrated an almost unbeatable level against elite competition. His comments conveyed both awe and respect, underscoring that Crawford has now set a benchmark so high that very few, if any, fighters are likely to match it.
That feeling, do you understand? What he did last night is unbelievable. He's a 3-time undisputed world champion, and he's beaten the best of the best. Now, for me, there were red flags way before this fight, not way before the fight, you know, in the build-up to this fight. Canelo's body language in the run-up to this fight, you know, he turned up in Vegas in his stretch limo, in his Armani suit. He's had his kids and his wife in the back of the car, and he's got out and he's strolling around like he owns the gaff. Now, that all that signified to me was a very comfortable man. He was too comfortable. And Terence Crawford just kept it real from the outset. Tracksuit, no nonsense, went there to win, said what he was going to do, told the world what he was going to do long before the fight. I think he asked for this fight many years ago. The discussion he had with Bill Haney, and I think it was him that actually suggested call out Canelo, which he laughed at the beginning, but then it came to fruition, and now it's come to fruition. I mean, what you saw in that fight yesterday, what I watched in that fight yesterday, it was for the purists. It really was, because you really have to try and understand boxing and know what you're looking at. It was the feints. It was the way that he handled the bigger man. It was the little feints, the little side steps, the little flicking with the jabs, you know, hitting him with the head and the body, the little combinations, the little 2s and 3s, and also with Crawford knowing how to close a round, knowing how to win rounds.
Trainer Robert Garcia gave a powerful endorsement of Crawford's greatness, arguing that in this context, he has accomplished more than Floyd Mayweather. He highlighted that Crawford dominated 9 to 10 rounds against Canelo while showing an unyielding determination, something Mayweather never risked at such a high level. Garcia pointed out that Floyd never attempted to move up in weight to take on and overpower a larger champion, making Crawford's achievement both unique and historic. For him, this moment isn't just about titles or statistics. It's about taking bold risks and succeeding, the kind of achievement that separates true legends from icons.
Canelo has already accomplished too much, has already done too much, and he wasn't, I don't see that hunger in him anymore. I don't see that those changes anymore. He fights flat-footed, throws one punch at a time. He's not fast anymore, and that's why I picked Crawford by decision.
Are you surprised how easy it was?
Look, not that I'm surprised, because what I just told you, I think Crawford is very talented, and Crawford is hungry to become a legend. He wanted to become that three-time, 3-division undisputed. He wanted to go up, he wanted to make history by going up 2 divisions to beat Canelo, one of the greatest of all time. So he was hungry for it. I think Canelo has already done so much, has made so much money, that he's not hungry anymore.
You think possibly that Crawford is up there with Pacquiao or Mayweather?
I think in accomplishments, He's three division undisputed. Moved up 2 divisions to beat Canelo. So he's probably he's accomplished more than Mayweather for sure. Mayweather never became undisputed, but that doesn't mean he's better than Mayweather. I think in a fight at welterweight, Mayweather in his prime would beat Crawford, and Pacquiao in his prime would probably beat Crawford. But Crawford has accomplished more.
Do you think Crawford should retire after this or fight someone else?
Look, I think a rematch would be fucking good for Crawford to just beat him again and do the same thing if Canelo doesn't have any changes. If he doesn't, he needs to do a lot of changes. Canelo needs to do a lot of changes. I think a rematch would do triple the money that he did in this fight and then retire. But I would be so happy to hear he retired.
Brian Norman Sr. left no doubt in his assessment, stating that Terence Crawford's destruction of Canelo Alvarez was far more decisive than anything Floyd Mayweather had achieved. His comments struck a chord with fans and analysts, capturing the reality of what unfolded in the ring. Canelo, long seen as the king of his division, wasn't merely defeated. He was systematically dismantled by a fighter who had moved up 2 weight classes to challenge him. Crawford's performance served as a masterclass, redefining what it means to be great in modern boxing. For years, Canelo had ruled the super middleweight division with authority, facing top contenders and establishing himself as one of the most recognizable and marketable champions of his era. His dominance made him appear nearly untouchable, with opponents often faltering against his powerful combinations and strategic pressure. Yet, on this night, Crawford completely shattered that perception. The shock wasn't just in the loss itself, it was how it happened. Canelo wasn't narrowly defeated or edged out on points. He was clearly outclassed and left seeking answers that never came.
I bet against Bud on Porter. I didn't think that Bud was the best. I got to give it to him. Bud the best, right? He hands down. He the best. He the best right now. I don't think nobody need to question him no more. I mean, you kind of got to give him his respect no matter what. You got to give him his respect. He just went up 2 weight classes what people said he couldn't do. He's doing everything that people say he can't do, and he is doing it with ease. Right? You got to respect that.
Break it down for me. How did he win that fight in the way you won it tonight?
He won the fight by gaining Canelo's respect. I think he was already in Canelo's head a little bit. I think that even though Canelo knew he was smaller and everything else, these fighters are still humans and they hear what the people are saying. Canelo was, Crawford was undefeated. Look at what he did to the Spence. I mean, look at what he's doing to some of these people. So no matter what, I mean, you have to take that into consideration. You know what I'm saying? Even no matter what he did against McCremoff or whatever else, you got to take into consideration what Bud has been known to do when it's time to do it. You know what I'm saying? So again, I think Canelo respected him, and I think that was the biggest part.
Canelo just said in the press conference that Crawford's better than Mayweather, having shared the ring with both. What do you think?
I mean, I think that's one of the things. I think that's one of the things that it's an opinionated situation because styles may fight. He beat him up. He beat Canelo up worse than Mayweather beat him up. He definitely did that. So in that case, you can ask the question: did he beat him up worse than Floyd did? Absolutely. But I mean, that would be an opinionated thing because styles make fights. You just never know. You know what I'm saying?
Different eras.
Yeah, different eras. It's a lot of things. You can't really say.
Andre Ward, himself a boxing legend, put Crawford's victory into proper historical perspective. He called it a generational fight, one that fans will remember for decades as a defining moment in the sport. Ward explained that these kinds of moments are what shape careers and distinguish great fighters from timeless icons. What stood out to him most was Crawford's discipline, staying focused, composed, and strategic throughout the fight without letting emotions take over. For Ward, this performance cemented Crawford in the conversation of the greatest fighters ever. By methodically defeating Canelo in such commanding fashion, Crawford rose to a level that only a handful of boxers in history have ever reached.
Canelo Alvarez tonight. What was your thoughts on that performance from Terence?
Terence Crawford, this great performance, man. He's been doing this throughout the course of his career. The stakes were a lot different in this fight, a lot more danger.
He had to fight that kind of fight in order to beat Canelo Alvarez tonight, and he did that at 37, but getting ready to be 38 years old. And he proved, like Max said, that he is the GOAT of this generation. Hats off to Canelo for taking the fight. He didn't have to take it. Hats off to Turkey Al-Sheikh for putting it together. Just a great, great night for boxing.
Yeah. How special a fighter is someone like Terence Crawford? There was no signs of a size disadvantage there. How special?
You can see it in spots, but it wasn't significant. And I didn't think it was going to be significant. And people call me crazy, but I've been around Terence. He's strong. He's got a wrestling background, and people don't realize that he's been boiling himself down all these years and still being successful, not having to do that. His condition seemed impeccable, and his strength was there, the power was there enough to get respect from Canelo. So what more can I say?
What would you like to see him do next? Do you think there's another fight after this?
I'd like to see him be done. What are we boxing for at this point? What else is there to do? There's always going to be a YouTuber or a reporter or somebody conjuring up another challenge. We box to get ourselves in a better financial position, to build a name and a legacy. Those boxes are checked. What else are we doing?
That wraps up today's video. Make sure to stay tuned for what's coming next.